Good morning, everyone. This is Colette and Stefan. You're listening to The Truth is Funny on Transformation Talk Radio. And we're also live on Facebook. And today I am taking callers, 1-800-930-2819. And this is the Tales from the Vector Show. And so I'm going to be doing 3-card consultations on the show. So you're more than welcome to call in, and we will do that. I wanted to talk a little bit, just check in with everybody again, how's everybody doing? I've had quite a few people getting in touch with me, and, there's a lot going on for a lot of people right now. And so I thought, until we get some callers, that what I would do is talk a little bit about this card in my deck. So this, in my deck, I have the horizontal cards, or more like the medicine. So this card is called Trauma Queen. And so the reason I chose this one is because even a month ago, when I tested the general collective consciousness around what's going on right now on the planet and everything, there was a lot of grief, like really, really, really deep grief. And then I noticed last week in particular, there was a lot of really, really angry people. And what I realized is, we're basically going through the stages of grief because we've had a terrible loss here. We've lost our way of life, and this is very traumatic for most people. And so I wanted to talk. I see we already have a caller, but what I'm going to do is just talk a little bit about this trauma. Trauma is in my layer 4 Call to Dance manual. And so trauma is, there's 5 fundamental traumas, and that are recognized. And these are abandonment, abuse, betrayal, denial, and rejection. And so people right now are experiencing all of these traumas because one of the things about isolation for a lot of people, it is very traumatic. And that kind of is the first point for trauma is abandonment. So many people have associations that link abandonment to giving up on themselves and on others. And often the abandonment is involuntary because of dangerous conditions such as war and natural disasters that are not in the control of an individual. Well, that's kind of what's going on now. So it's not uncommon for people who are in the process of bettering themselves to become triggered or to trigger others because of past, present, and future concerns and worries that revolve around leaving others behind. And so being left behind, claiming or climbing over others to get to the top, etc. So these originate from self. And as I'm talking about this, I'm shifting the ancestors, the descendants, the psychic energies, the spiritual experiences. And we just want to strengthen that we don't sabotage ourselves with this, because right now, like a lot of people are experiencing major changes in their life other than the changes that are happening. And what I mean by that is a lot of people, even before this, I noticed were kind of almost like they were wanting to change their identity. And so it's kind of, and then now this is just pushing it along. And so a lot of us are asking ourselves right now, like, what's really important to us? Do I really like doing what I was doing? Can't do it right now anyway for some. There's others who are really, really in a lot of fear because they're immune compromised, or they've got people that are. There's a wide gamut of people with a wide range of fears. And so what I'm doing actually later today is I am going to be recording a video for, it's going to be for our current situation. And I'm just going to do a protocol, which is just aligning the energy as I'm speaking like I'm doing now and touching in on that. And I'm going to be putting that on my website. And so if you sign up for my newsletter right now, what you get is affirmations of success. And that's just an MP3 recording. And so what I'm going to do is exchange that with this video for our current situation right now. And so don't worry if you're already on the newsletter list and you want to make sure you get that. You will, what I'm going to do, because we're in the process of doing it, and I have to, as I said, I'm recording it today. When we get it up and running, then we will put that in as when you sign up for the newsletter. But at the same time, I will be sending everybody who's already on the newsletter list this video. So don't worry about not getting it one way or another. It's just something I wanted to put together that if people wanted to listen to and just kind of get calmer, you know, and maybe try to make it a little bit humorous. So it's challenging these days. Everybody's tired of talking about our current situation. I get it, but there's still lots of people emailing me. And we've had several people that have lost, you know, we have one person that's lost her mom last week, and we have another person who's lost a close loved one. So a lot of people are dealing with a lot of things right now. The other, another one of the things is abuse. That's another trauma that people go through. And abuse can happen in many ways and shapes and forms. It's variations from excessive misuse of power, and it can be corruption in government, families, customs, religion, etc. So abuse can be physical, mental, emotional, psychological. It can also come from the collective consciousness. So this may or may not be actual trauma as an individual has experienced or is experienced in his lifetime or other lifetimes, but they can be triggered from resonating with the fears of the collective whole to some degree. So yeah, that's why I'm sharing this right now, because this is what we're going through. You may have noticed that there's a real roller coaster in this energy, up, down, up, down, up, down. And the emotions are coming very quickly. The fear will rise, and then the next moment people are kind of like over it, and then it climbs back up. But I've noticed that it's because there's so much momentum to so many people thinking about the same thing, that things are happening really, really quickly in some ways, even though in some ways it feels like time is sort of standing still. So we want to strengthen everybody to any traumas that or common weaknesses for people that have around the birthing process, because we are birthing a new normal, and also any surgeries, any deaths, dental traumas, beatings, amputation, electrocution, suffocation, drowning, strangling, animal attacks, car, plane, and train crashes, burnings, stabbings, shootings, molestations, poisonings, public humiliation, rape, sodomy, suicide, choking, kidnapping, etc. These are all common fears that many people have throughout the planet. Not necessarily everybody has all of those, thank goodness, but we have a tendency to have fears around the same things. Another one is betrayal. And so a lot of people are feeling betrayed right now, that life as they thought it was no longer is. And so we'll talk a little bit about that. I want to get into taking some of the callers and doing a collective for this, but I'll just go before, when we come back, I'm just going to go through the other two, denial and rejection and betrayal, and just so that we can strengthen all of those traumas for all of us, so that we're not reacting to a whole bunch of traumas that in one moment. And I'll explain a little bit more about that when we come back. This is Colette Marie Stefan. You're listening to The Truth is Funny. We're doing Tales from the Vector today. I'm doing 3-card consultations. 1-800-930-2819. Call in and let's shift some energy here. We'll be right back. Hi, this is Colette Marie Stefan. You're listening to The Truth is Funny on Transformation Talk Radio, and we are also live on Facebook. And today I'm talking about trauma. We do have callers that have been patiently waiting, so I want to put them on, and we'll fit abuse, betrayal, and I can't remember what the other one I didn't go through yet was, but we all are pretty much aware of what those are. So rejection. So I wanted to point that out just because the energy around, some people find this isolation very traumatizing. Some people find it very relaxing. So, but that's why I'm saying we have to be very kind with each other and with ourselves right now, because we're being asked to kind of operate as if things are like normal, and nobody's really aware of what that is anymore. So, Zach, we do have callers here, so we're going to take them and do some card readings. That sounds like a plan.
All right, we have Marie from France. Marie, you are on The Truth is Funny.
Hey, Marie. Hi. How are you doing out there in Europe?
Well, generally all right, but today a rather much more day of struggle. So
okay.
Back to you to kind of find some solution to it all.
Okay. So what would you like to work on?
I feel frustrated from lack of space to myself, lack of silence, lack of Wi-Fi working. And I feel I can't get in the zone to move my writing done, to do. Yeah, That's one thing. That's the main thing at the moment.
That's the main thing. So when you get in touch with that, on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being does this happen to you in the past?
Yes, but it's like that's the main issue at the moment, and then there's 8. The number 8 is coming forth.
Okay, so 8, and so the first card I picked is sensuality. Oh. So sensuality, that's a fun card, but it's about it's just saying right now, I feel like that you're just very sensitive right now. And you, on top of all the other changes that are happening, it's just coming up, there's accumulated changes that are happening that would have been a lot to handle, just like because you moved into a relationship where there's children and you haven't had children before, correct?
Yes, and then there's also other things that have been not happening now because of the confinement, the lockdown, these months, and yada, yada. Yep.
Yeah. And because everything's kind of put on hold right now, well, everybody deals with, the epidemic, right? So it's kind of weird, isn't it, to be in this position where you're expected to function and write and everything. It's interesting, though, because this card, when it comes up, like a lot of times people are told that they're too sensitive. But I'm getting that, and I'm getting, like that your sensitivity, that's your touch, your taste, your smell, your sight, your hearing, all of that. Let's strengthen that so that it's kind of coming up that on top of everything else, to have to change your writing. It's just asking too much for you right now is what's coming up. And so everything, do you notice that everything feels louder? Everything feels do you feel like you're overwhelmed?
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, because it's almost like when babies are young and they get too excited or they have too much going on, sometimes they'll get so tired that they can't sleep, And I'm getting, you're so tired you can't write. And so what is it that you're working on?
Well, we have been so tired that we haven't been able to write. We're literally neighbors with pounds of noise through the nights, which we've been step by step making them gently aware of. But it's a bunch of different writing projects, both from my research work and spiritual stuff, and then also now creative writing.
Okay, so in the past, when you've had this happen, what's the longest you've ever been in this situation?
Maybe a day.
A day? And how long has it been?
Okay, fine. Only about maybe say three this week.
Okay, I think you'll survive it. But this is the card, and I love that this card came up. This is the joy card, and it's also the card of Isis. So this is about mother. This is about being a mother, being mothered, mothering, and it's about joy. And I'm just getting that generally when you write, do you find that you find that a joyful experience?
Normally, though today when I wrote, I was just tears flowing out.
Okay, because I'm just getting that your writing has become more like every word, it's almost like you're feeling it, like really deeply.
Yes.
It's like it's almost like you're like really raw, like ripped open. What are you writing right now?
That's weird. That's exactly the words that I just was feeling. It feels even too raw to share with others.
Okay, well, you don't have to share it on the radio show. But is it like creative writing, or is this for work?
Yes,
or is this...
what I had just done in the hour before, just the time leading up to calling to you, and I was almost scared that you say, "Come on, you call in too often. You need
No. I think when people call in quite often, I have a lot of people who contact me and say, "I'm scared to phone in." So the ones that are brave enough to call in, I had a client one time say, she had a friend and she said she's very, very ill. And she said, but, she won't call in. And I'm like, well, call in, like it's free. And you don't have to say I don't care if you say your real name or whatever. You don't have to give me too much information anyway. But it's kind of like making that call. So don't ever feel that way. We're always happy to hear from you and Paris. So
thank you.
I find it interesting that you have two dragonflies here also, which are these are the ones that are movement, like real quick movement. Like dragonflies are real quick, like little helicopters. Yep. And so it's kind of like I'm getting that you're writing in a different way. Have you noticed that?
Yes, there's tears that come out often when I'm doing my creative writing now. It's not always sadness; it's a release of something.
Yeah, it's because I'm getting that it's not so much sadness as it's like the sentimental sadness of letting go of a part of yourself, like because we all are right now in many ways, whether we want to face it or not. The grieving process is a long process. Or can be. And, people go through different stages and at different rates, et cetera. And a lot of people still believe that the world's going to go back to how it was, and it doesn't feel really strong. So it's kind of, and it's kind of, so there's this like deep sadness, like, of will I ever be able to go see those people on the other side of the world that I love so much? Will I be able to go, I had plans to go back to Australia, will I ever get to do that again? All of these things are I'm using myself as an example because it's just easier that way. But if you can get neutral to those things and realize that there's, it feels like life and death. It feels really scary. So we're just going to strengthen this for you, that the writing is changing too. But I'm getting that almost bothers you more than anything else because it's kind of like that's the one thing you could count on.
Yes.
And look at this. Pride. the karmic space of pride. So
Okay.
when people are really proud of doing something, are you proud of your writing generally?
Yeah, I'm proud of my writing and proud of my work in general.
Yeah.
Generally,
So,
but not today.
no, not today. So this card is basically pride is a karmic space. And so when people feel like they're losing confidence, quite often they'll come off as being more arrogant. And so I'm just
Okay.
getting that the style of your writing changed a bit. And it's very, very common when people are letting go of a lot that they weep like that. I catch myself weeping here and there, willy-nilly. Like just out of the blue, I'll just be like, oh, I'll just start to weep. And then I'll work on myself and ask, what's that about? And so it's a lot of this that's going on for a lot of people. When you get in touch with your number and you think, oh, well, maybe it's just changing for the better. If you're going to be, I'm getting, you're going to be an even better creative writer because of this.
That would be great. Yeah.
Okay, so we have to take a quick break here. Would you like to hang on and we'll just check in with you? I'll work on this a little bit more with you on the break. And then we'll come back and we'll see where you're at.
Thank you.
All right, this is Colette Marie Stefan. You're listening to The Truth is Funny on Transformation Talk Radio, and we are taking callers, 1-800-930-2819. We're talking about letting go of trauma today. Let it go. We'll be right back to make some shift happen. Hey, this is Colette Marie Stefan. You're listening to The Truth is Funny on Transformation Talk Radio. We were talking to Marie right before the break. She was having an issue with her creative writing and also writing for work. Marie, we seem to have lost you. So what we're going to do is take the next caller. But before that, I just want to tell you what I was getting on the break because we have a whole bunch of people calling in right now. So what I was getting is that it would be really, really beneficial for you to go back to your writing when you're calmer and more neutral about it and just read it out loud to yourself and read it so you can hear it instead, because I'm getting that will give you more of an idea of what changed in your writing. And so it won't be so bothersome to you. I'm getting, actually, this is really strong. And this may sound kind of funny to you when you listen to this after, but it's almost like you were kind of getting into a rut of doing things or writing in a certain way. And now is a huge opportunity for you because you're, you started a new relationship with all these big changes. And then on top of this, all of this. But I want to remind you who you are. Remember when you wanted to move to Europe and you did. You're good at manifesting and you're good at getting what you want. I'm getting a lot of people now are changing the way they manifest things. And generally, most people become a lot better at what they do when times are challenging than when times are really calm. So thank you for calling in. And Zach will take the next caller then. That is because we have two callers waiting here. We have Roxanne, I guess.
Yes, we have Roxanne from Alberta. Roxanne, you are live on The Truth is Funny.
Thank you. Hi, good morning, Colette. How are you?
Hi. I'm Roxanne. my Afghan hound, her name was Moxie, and we used to sing Moxanne to her when we were, in quarantine. Moxie's been gone for a while now, but it just reminded me of it. So what can we do?
There's a new song out now that's a rap song with the name Roxanne. So it's
I'll have to listen to that one too.
I get these young kids now that say, "Oh, do you know you have a song with your name in it?" And I'm like, so
you're afraid to listen to it,
today, right? So today really resonates with me in the fact that I've been in a relationship for a year and a half, well, almost 2 years off and on. We had a break and then we got back together thinking that everything we'd resolved, but oddly enough, it's kind of resurfaced right in this past week.
This past week
has a lot of issues with trust, and he was always accusing me of being, not faithful, which was, in my head, absurd. But anyhow, with all this COVID and everything, he lost his job, and now he's moved to Ontario. And he did this very quickly. He made this decision within 2 weeks, and he, was like, I want you to do this with me. And I'm like, with me, it brought up, because I'm not divorced, but I'm separated, but my ex-husband, I lived overseas with him, and it just brought up a lot of
because it's coming up. It's coming up that you've got some accumulated traumas, and it. A lot of people right now, it's bringing up these issues of being left behind or leaving others behind. This is really, really common right now, and there's a lot of people that are making really rash decisions right now. Like, it's got to be done now. Yeah. And this is kind of what I'm not recommending unless it's absolutely necessary, because unless you're strong to what you're doing at this time, it can have obviously some serious ramifications down the road.
Right.
Having said that, if you're not going to make rash decisions in a pandemic, when are you allowed to?
Right. Well, true. And, it really made me, I wanted to do this with him, but I said to him, I can't do this as quickly as you have. I have to get things in order. And I was getting myself prepared for this. But
so what number are you at? 10 being hair on fire, press the panic button, I'm all alone here, I don't know if I should go to Ontario or if I should go. What is your thing right now? Is it because you don't know whether you want to go or not, or you don't want to go?
Well, see, here's the thing. I felt on wanting to go, I was probably about a 6, 7. But anyways, let me jump ahead here. So he messaged me a couple days ago. There was this disconnect going on, and I couldn't understand. I felt it, he felt it, because we're both spiritual. But he went and saw somebody, and this person told him that I was, he could see that there was a young man in my life, blah, blah, blah. Ethan was this person's name. Let's go forward. Anyways, Fred kept accusing me that I'm conversing with some young person named Ethan. I told him he was ridiculous.
Yeah, it doesn't test strong. So take a deep breath here. Take a deep breath.
Long story short, he said some really mean stuff to me, that I'm a liar, I'm a cheat, that he's... Anyway, he broke it off with me, and he... Not only did he do this to me, then he messaged my children, so now my son is really upset with me, and there's this...
Okay, so take a take a very deep breath here. Right now, people are not making really strong decisions because they're afraid. And we're going to pick 3 cards here, and we're just going to see what, because I'm getting that this relationship wasn't necessarily headed for a good place anyway, as it was. Okay. And there's times we meet people, when you met this man, because what's coming up is this card, which is surrender. And surrender is psychic energy. And so I'm getting that he really got triggered. Okay, so we're just going to strengthen him first and foremost to be, and for everybody right now, to go to your center, to be stable, centered, balanced. And recognize that at this time, we're going to strengthen everybody to be connected to source energy, to the higher self network, to be able to be strong, to tuning into your ability, your psychic ability, and to recognize that, the energy this week has been extremely volatile. And so there's a lot of psychic energy. A lot of people are getting upset and then reacting and then regretting it later. But it's really weird kind of because a lot of people are making these big choices and then they can't say, well, that wasn't what I wanted. So we're just going to get everybody to breathe. Just breathe. And then the next card, we have the divorce card. And so this card is the worst divorce is separation from source. This card is about separation. So definitely when this card comes up, like normally it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get divorced. What it means is that this is the separation card, that there's a separation there right now. And this card generally means...
Would that be from my spouse that I'm separated from, or would that be from this person?
I tested that. It's from this person. Okay. So there's some energy still coming in around that, like that when he left to go like that. So we just want to, what it has done is it's triggered up a bunch of old wounds in you.
Correct.
And in him. So, and here's the energy. He's not a Virgo by any chance, is he?
Yes, he is.
Oh, there we go. Virgos don't like when things are messy. Generally, Virgos are very analytical, and the saying on the card is analytical criticism or anal critique. So recognize that for all of the signs, probably for Virgo, this is one of the most challenging things and Virgos have a tendency to have everything exactly in order and super clean, or else not at all. And so when they get all out of order, they get very discombobulated at times. Does that make sense to you?
Oh, hugely.
Yeah, there you go. So a lot of this is accumulated, and it's traumas from your subconscious minds when you were little. And a lot of people say, oh, when I get married, when I do this, I'm not going to ever act like my parents. And then we end up acting like our parents. So this is kind of what's happened. Zach, can we skip the break here?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. How much time do we have left?
Thank you.
We have about 14 minutes.
Okay, good. That's why. But so I just wanted to check in with you again here, Roxanne. And just, did your number change? Like, what number would you say you're at now? 0 being, okay, I'm more neutral, and 10 being, no, I'm still freaking out.
I'd probably say like I'm a 5. I guess because I'm still like, I thought this person was my soulmate, and I guess it's just confusing for me. And
well, what's coming up right now is there's a bunch of karma. Like when we meet someone and we have this really amazing spiritual experience with them, then when a lot of times we meet with that person because we have karma with them. And so that karma is feeling like you've resolved a lot of it. And so sometimes when that happens, the relationship changes and people separate, or they go their own ways, or it gets better. So I want you to just take a deep breath, and you're at a 5 right now because you're kind of caught in the middle. And so I'm getting that what you need in some ways, the energy that's coming in is that you're very relieved to have some space. To really be able to digest this. And then to be able to make strong choices around it. So I'm getting, like, because you were pretty high when you got on, and now you're at a 5, and I'm getting it shifted a little bit even more since then. Are you around a 3 now?
Yeah. Like I'm.
Yeah. So just make sure you breathe, stay calm, and recognize that it dropped down to there, and that it would be a really bad idea for you to be in Ontario right now anyway. It just makes things...
I think I knew that.
Yeah. It doesn't feel strong at all. And so we'll see what happens with him. when all this kind of washes over a bit. And I would just, you know, look after yourself. Really allow yourself to take this time to really figure out who it is that you want to be. And remember, I know this sounds really, really weird, but try not to take that too personal, even though that it's such a personal relationship. This is his stuff and I'm getting it brought up, a bunch of stuff for him. So there's no point in blaming, judging, or any of that. That could be done later. This is more about
Sorry. I felt like it was more about him than me, because
it is.
He's the one that has all these trust issues, not me. Like I never did with him.
Yeah. That's what he's acting out is his fears. Okay. So I'm going to take the next caller because she's been patiently waiting here, and we only got a few minutes left. But you feel free to contact me at info@thetruthisfunny. And also, I don't know if you heard earlier that I'm putting that out for a protocol for all this stress that we're going through right now. I just want to, like, if people listen to it, it'll take it down another notch. So thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
Zach, can we take the next caller, please?
Absolutely. We have Troa from Barbados.
Oh, there we go.
Troa, are you there? Oh,
do we still have Laura from... Okay, the Saskatchewan person's gone. And Trilla?
Let's try Laura from Saskatchewan. Are you there, Laura?
Hey, there we go. I think that's my Laura with the twins.
Hello?
Hey, Laura.
Hello?
Is that you, my sweetheart?
Yeah, it is.
How's my little girls and that little guy?
Oh, they're good. You know, homeschool, and the little guy, he's a handful.
So what can we do for you today?
Well, it's actually, I'm calling about the little guy.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't talk a whole lot.
How old is he?
Mike and I are kind of just wondering if we should be concerned or not. And one thing I should say about this little guy that you'll get, because, you know, with my girls, I didn't worry at all because it was the worst pregnancy, so I didn't worry.
Yeah,
this
well,
little guy was totally normal.
So I should just let the people know that Laura was pregnant with twins, and I was working on her twins because they were sharing one placenta. And they're how old now? And they're healthy and happy and...
Oh, yeah, they're almost 9.
Yeah. So what's happening with your son? How old is he?
He's 1.5 tomorrow, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so I just want to check with Zach. Zach, how much time do we have left?
A little over 8 minutes.
Oh, good. Okay, just double checking. Okay, don't worry about your son. This is because he's got 2 sisters who are doing all this talking for him. Have you noticed?
Yes, I have, and I remember you warned me about that, but his sisters take very good care of him.
And they're bored.
Oh, yeah.
He's really being mothered by them. And so when my children were young, my oldest daughter, like, she was talking when she was, like, I don't know, like a year old, she was talking. And my youngest daughter wasn't. And she was almost two, and we were like, whoa, it's kind of like, this is kind of worrisome. And then I realized one day that when I asked her, what kind of juice do you want? Her sister would answer for her. And her sister was always right. And I don't know if that was because if her sister said it was apple juice, it was damn well apple juice. So, because that was her big sister, right? So I noticed at that moment that she wasn't asking for anything because she didn't have to, because her older sister was doing it for her all the time. And boys have a tendency not to talk as much anyway. Is he making sounds?
he makes lots and lots of sounds. Like, he communicates, but if I ask him to say something, he might say it once, like please, for example. He'll say please, but he'll only say it once. He sort of looks at me like I said it. I'm not doing this twice. And if he gets impatient,
so he's being a little bit stubborn. I wonder where he gets that from.
It's his dad, definitely, and only.
Yeah, no, I'm getting that. This is like he's a year and a half, and I'm just getting that, you know, make him ask for things or he doesn't get them.
Okay.
And you'll see how quickly, like when I realized that with my youngest daughter, the next day she was speaking in sentences.
Oh.
And then we were wondering.
That's sort of what I was getting from him, and that he just didn't want to.
Right. No. And the more that you want him to, the more that he's going to make sure he doesn't.
Well, he's a Scorpio.
So let's pick a couple cards for this little guy here, because we're running into the end of the show here now. Isn't this funny? Look at the card I picked. Gemini.
I can't. Gemini. Oh.
So now this is funny because your daughters were supposed to be Geminis, and they waited to be born until the cusp, and they moved into the sign of Cancer. Do you remember that? And you were so worried and so upset at the hospital because they were, you know, you were supposed to be having them by cesarean. Remember that? Yeah. And there was all those babies born at the hospital that day.
Yeah.
And so on what day did they get born?
It was June 22nd.
Yeah. And it was so funny because your mom, when I said to her, oh, don't worry, they just don't want to be Geminis, twins on twins.
Yeah.
That's too much. So here we've got the culprits for why your son is not talking.
Okay.
That's pretty clear. And then, oh, this is interesting. Yeah. This is about water. Does he drink a lot of water?
He loves to drink water.
Yeah, it's just coming up that, is he drinking out of a cup or a bottle?
Well, he likes his bottles for his formula, but everything else is like a cup and not a baby cup. He refuses to use sippy cups. It's either a regular glass or something with a straw. He
has a very good memory of some of his past life.
Oh, okay.
And he liked it better when he had more power.
I've always felt that he just doesn't really want to be a baby.
No. He's frustrated by being a baby. So we're just going to get him strong to recognizing that, you know, this is a good thing. But the water thing is, I just want to strengthen that the water actually goes exactly where it needs to go for him. And so it's not a big deal, but it's just coming up. Like when this card comes up, it's about having the clean water. And this is also about amniotic fluid too, right? Because that's where in the belly. And he had a beautiful pregnancy, did he not?
He did. It was great. He did not want to leave.
Right. So that's still coming up. He's kind of torn between being a baby and being and it's coming up the words exactly like this, little man. Do you call him little man?
We do, actually.
Yeah. Well, because he's like, he likes being a little man, but he also really, really would prefer. And then this is the raw. So this is life force energy. This is, this, I feel that this is just, you know, it's timing. Yeah. So when you get in touch with it and you think about your son and you think about him speaking, what number are you at? 0 being neutral, 10 being, you know, I'm freaking out.
Right now, like 1.5.
Yeah.
In there.
Zach, what number are we at for time?
We have 2 minutes.
Okay, cool. So we'll give, we're just going to, what is this little teeny weeny bit that's left? It's kind of like, you know, when things like are going, like, because you had such a challenging pregnancy with the girls. And I mean, like the doctors were shocked, you know, because they did so well. I mean, and then the pregnancy with him was so smooth. It's almost like for you coming up that it's almost too good to be true at a time like this. It's kind of like people are kind of struggling with that right now, like trying to determine what's normal. Is it normal for a 1.5-year-old boy not to talk as much as your girls did? Yes.
Okay.
And yes, it is. So thank you so much for calling, and it was so good to hear your voice. I'm so glad the girls are 9 now.
They'll be 9. Well, in a month and a half, they'll be 9.
Yeah. Wow, time does fly, hey?
Oh, it really does.
Say hi to your mom.
I will.
All right. Lots of love to you.
Bye.
Everybody else back there in Saskatchewan.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Laura's husband, Mike, also sold my house for me when I was in Regina and did an amazing job. So I just want to put a little pump in there for him. So this is Colette Marie Stefan, and I'm sorry we couldn't get to all the callers. This is The Truth is Funny that you've been listening to. We'll have a next Wednesday. I'm just looking at my calendar. I will have Nuggets of Wisdom, and I will be doing, you can call in, and I will be shifting energy. And watch out if you already are on my newsletter list. In the next few days, you should be getting that video. And also, if you want to join the newsletter list, you'll get the affirmations of success. And you would also get this because you'll be in that gap period. So I just want to say thank you, Dr. Pat. It was a pleasure being on your show. I see that's up now on The Truth is Funny with Colette on Facebook. So if you want to check out my interview with Dr. Pat on Monday, it's there. And also yesterday with Carly, it's up too. I've been having a busy interview week. Bye for now, everybody. See you next Wednesday.